Welcome back to another episode of Beauty in the Break. You're here. You're here for all of this, whatever this is.
Thanks for being here, wherever you are. I hope you're in a space of peace, calm, and clarity.
Today, so we're kind of like, getting into our next season, right? And we mentioned in a previous episode that we are reframing a little bit, slight little nudge about how this show is going to be framed. And one of the main differences in how we are kind of fine tuning our show going forward is that we want the show to be about the barriers we have broken through, whether that's within ourselves or out in the world. And so there's no better way to start off the beginning of the year than to really talk about in real time what barriers we are currently working on, because this is not something we've done past tense. This is something that we're in the messy middle of trying to break through for ourselves.
Yeah. When we had the episode about money, it was something that we were working on right in the moment.
Yeah.
And it was challenging for both of us. And a lot of people told me and you, and therefore us, how impactful that episode was for them. How good it felt for someone to hear people be vulnerable and open and not have all the answers and not say like, this is all the things that I know. Instead, we were saying, this is what we don't know.
Uh-huh.
And so I wanted to copy and paste that in a sense, take that same framework and say, let's talk about the things that we're trying to barrier break in our life right now.
I feel like it's constant with us. We're always got something that we're trying to break through. And it feels like either within the world, which we've got that too, but in particular within ourselves, I feel like so much of my thoughts and attention is focused on bettering myself in a way, but maybe that's the wrong way to phrase it. Not to make myself better, but to break through something that's like kind of got me stuck, you know?
I think that's a better way of saying it.
Yeah.
Working through things is usually what I say.
Uh-huh.
And I say like, oh, I'm rehearsing it. For what show? I don't know.
Yeah.
But I'm just constantly at rehearsal of something.
Right.
Yeah.
And, we talked about in our psychedelics episode about the remembering of what we're really all here for. And so sometimes we've got these elements of our life that are like stuck in our chest and are prohibiting us from the freedom that we want in this world and the play and the joy and the happiness. And we can get so bogged down and stuck by like being human and getting, going to work, and everything's hard, and it is hard, but like we cannot live our lives like everything. That can't be all there is. So these things we break through, hopefully, onto the other side, but we're not there yet. Sometimes I don't know what I'm working on until it just shoves itself right into my face.
Oh, interesting.
Money was like a big one for me for the whole year, and still working through that, but I feel like I'm on the downhill with that. Recently, you and I were up in the cabin, and you frequently will ask me, baby, is there something you want to listen to music-wise? We have our phones with literally every single song you could possibly imagine.
Yeah.
And what do you want to listen to? And oftentimes we're in your place, we're in the car, or whatever. You're playing your music, and you try to give me like, hey, you want to pick, because I'm kind of got the controls here. And I often will say, I don't know. I'll get kind of overwhelmed by the question. I'll say like, I don't know. Whatever, keep playing what you're playing. I do find the question overwhelming because it's a huge library to choose from. But then it happened again when we were trying to pick a show to watch. And I was looking at the different shows and the different choices, and nothing really quite felt right. And I was like, reached into the arsenal of movies we want to watch, and I picked something that I knew you wanted to see and that you liked. And I felt pretty neutral about it. And I was like, let's watch this. And I caught myself doing that. And I'm like, what am I doing here? I am consistently not choosing what I want, but I also don't even know what I want. And I'm deferring to my partner for what I know is going to keep him happy, because I don't know, I feel safer that way. This is an easier choice. And so I had this realization, and I think I told you pretty quickly after having it, that I don't always know what I need or what I want. And I'm very good at pushing my needs and wants down. The idea that I don't know what I want is kind of scary to realize. And it's especially scary because I remember working on this before when I was younger. I mean, to go way back, I'm like a historical people pleaser, right? And I even went into a profession of acting when I first started training and, going to school. I went into a profession that was like, someone else is going to tell me what to do. They're going to approve of me to get in the room, to get the job, to not get the job. And then they're going to tell me exactly where to go, what to do, how to say it, all of the things. That's not really true about actors, but that is what my perception was of acting.
That was your
at the time.
buy-in. That was your way to do that job because that's what you assumed. Yeah.
And I was not an actor who needed or wanted agency within my career. I was somebody who was like, I'll be really happy if someone just tells me where to go, tells me exactly how to do it, and I'll just do it.
Yeah.
Part of my growth personally in my career was many years later transitioning into directing. And that was so scary to me because I was like, now I have to have a vision. Now I have to know what I want. Now I'm the one who's laying the foundation for other people to have their crafts and to say, I need you to start here and the blocking ends over here. And you had to have really clear vision and direction about what you wanted. And the sign of a weak director was somebody who didn't know what they wanted. So I worked on that really, really hard. To come full circle and now be in a relationship with you and realize I still have this little bit to work on here is scary, but I know that I can do it. It's now only appears in relationships. I worked on this in my career and now it's still showing up in my romantic relationships.
Right. It's closest to you, a romantic relationship. Mm-hmm. So I would assume that it's probably going to be the hardest thing to work through. When I ask you, what do you want to watch or listen to? What do you feel? What's the first thing that comes up for you?
I think there's two things going on. One is I really get overwhelmed by the question because if you say this or that, right? Do you want to watch this or do you want to watch that? I can make a choice. But when there's an infinite number of choices, my brain shuts down. But that night when we were talking about what I wanted to watch, I very clearly was like, this will make him happy. And I'd rather not ruffle feathers. I'd rather be dissatisfied or feel neutral about the movie than ruffle any feathers with you, which is an old thing, right? This is in relationships in my past, deferring to someone else was the safest way for me to be.
Right. Do I ever give you a feeling of do the thing that I want? Otherwise, I'll be upset or feathers will be ruffled?
No, it's not you. It's a pattern.
It's just a pattern for it. Okay. Mm-hmm. It's a you thing.
Yeah. Okay. It's not about the movies or the music.
It's not. Yeah.
It's about,
it's definitely not, no.
Do I know what makes me happy? Do I know what I want in my life? Do I know what I want for us? Do I know what I want for me? I think part of it is we're 2 years and change into our relationship. Early on, it's easy to be like, yeah, whatever you want. Yeah, that sort of, I want us to be copacetic. I don't want us to fight. I want us to have agreements about things. Sometimes I will just defer. I will just, it's almost like shoving it under the rug, sweeping it under the rug, something that I want, and be like, my needs are not that important. And I actually believe that my needs are not as important as yours.
You believe that?
Uh-huh.
You actually believe that your needs are not as important
not
as mine?
Consciously, but subconsciously.
Yeah. Yes. Sorry, I should have specified that. But yes.
Uh-huh.
There are times where we are having a conversation about something, or last week, for example, there was some food that was left. You spoke first and said to one of our kids, do you want this? And they said no. And then two other people in the room, me and someone else, said, is there enough for both of us as well to have like a scoop or so, a little bit out? And you were like, yeah, sure, just have it. And you just gave the whole thing away. Mm-hmm. And I went, babe, I just want a small scoop. You should have it. You asked for this thing. A few things. I think that's a motherly thing. Mm-hmm. And I think it's a society that tells women that they're secondary, to want to just keep giving and giving and giving and giving. And the moment you step up, you're too demanding, you're too whatever. But to be more specific here, there are in men conversations and men dialogue and like memes that are aimed towards men, very often talking about women not knowing what they want.
Yeah. Oh, that is true. You're right.
I mean, there's that whole gif of Like a guy's like, I'm going to go ask my girl where we're going to dinner. And it just changes to Ryan Gosling in The Notebook yelling at Rachel McAdams. He's like, what do you want? Like that, right? There's another one, this woman, she's like on death row. And he's like, what would you like for your last meal? She goes, I don't know. What do you want?
Yeah.
It's hilarious because there's some actual truth in there, right?
Then I think that's hard for men.
It's hard. Yeah, it's very challenging, especially for a lot of men in particular. Is like we're hunting. Tell us, we'll go do the thing.
Oh, right.
Tell us. And then there's the other side of it that sometimes we can be mama's boys as males. We can be like, I want it my way. I want it my way. And we'll push back. I mean, I think there's room for both of those spaces where it's like, no, I want this time. And sometimes like, no, I want to do exactly what you want to do. But I asked this question to you in particular to try to speak for and from that space. You don't have to speak for all women, of course, but from that space of an understanding of what is it that you don't know about what you want?
I think that deep down, my intuition, if I pay attention, knows exactly what I want. I think if I'm actually in tune with my intuition and like my heart, I do know what I want. If I'm too much in my mind and my cerebral, maybe it's prefrontal cortex, I don't know, but if I'm in my mind and it's racing and I've been working the whole day trying to like figure out things and make things happen, I don't know what I want because I'm not tapped into the intuitive parts of me. Actually, women are incredibly intuitive.
Yeah.
Do you know this whole thing about chivalry and opening doors?
Oh, maybe. Remind me.
So the idea of like, oh, it's chivalrous for a man to open a door for a woman, right? And then there was all this backlash of like women like, I don't want you to open the door for me. I can open the door for my damn self, right? But it historically goes back to when people would live in tribes and they would go explore new land, they would send the women first. The women would go in and sniff out, essentially, where is water? Where are we going to have a good food source? And they would use their intuition first, be like, yes, this is a good place for us to land. Now men come in and do all the like
the muscle
build,
and the more direct, logical kind of like this is that.
Yep,
Yeah.
Here's where we are. And the women were like leading.
That's fascinating.
We're born leaders. So it's like an honoring of that historic thing of like the woman goes first to get the lay of the land and I'll come after and she'll tell me where to sit in this room full of people or whatever. So why am I saying that?
So you do know what you want.
Oh, yes, I do know what I want deep down, but I am so often in this like masculine energy world driven by my head.
Okay.
And driven by like these masculine sort of energy choices. And I'm not tapped into my internal thing. And then this part 2 is even when I'm tapped in, and I'll give you an example of this, but even when I'm tapped in and I know exactly what I want, I then run it through my head about how you will feel about that.
There you go.
And this is just as my partner, not like as a male, but as my partner being like, if I say what I want, it might hurt his feelings.
That's amygdala, by the way, not prefrontal cortex.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm not correcting you. I'm pointing out like that's a fear thing. Like that's coming from a space of fear and like a scarcity mindset. That's more of like a flight or fight, amygdala kind of thing.
Maybe I feel like I'm caretaking you in that sense. Because with the food, you wanted it, you were still hungry. Well, then somehow I was like, it doesn't matter if I have a few more bites of this. I want him to be satisfied.
Yeah.
I want to caretake for you. What?
Yeah, it's like
your head. But.
Well, I'm shaking. Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm shaking my head for all those listeners out there. I'm shaking my head because it takes a toll. It takes a toll on a person who goes that way often. My mother constantly would throw parties, cook food for everybody, and then be too tired to make a plate for herself. Make your own plate first. Put your mask on in the airplane before you put the oxygen mask on somebody else. Like fill your cup first. There's all these phrases for it. I can keep going on and on. The food thing, you did it out of habit, but you were drained that you had to do it.
Yeah.
I saw it in your body language.
Yeah. Well, that's because I do that. I do that for my children.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And there goes that mother archetypal thing. And is that not Mother Nature right now, by the way? We are taking up so much resources of Mother Nature constantly until one day she's going to spit us out or something. Until someday she's worn out. or until she gives us a virus and tells us to go to our rooms and don't come out till we think about what we've done. I could sense that from you in that moment, the way you handed the box over to us.
Yeah. Well, because by shoving this down and by being like, okay, in that moment I knew what I wanted. I wasn't unclear about that, but I was going to sacrifice. Mm-hmm. But there's a small part that comes with that sacrifice that is bitter and resentful.
That's the word I was thinking of.
Mm-hmm. And we all know the mother meme of like, you never, not even a meme, but just the trope of a mother saying, you never appreciate me.
Yeah.
I do all this for you. I gave birth to you. You never appreciate me. And it's like, that's so much bitterness and resentment.
Like deep, and you can. I think about 6 Feet Under a lot when I think about moms or that sort of thing. Like the mother in 6 Feet Under, she was so wound up. And then she has that burst. She's like, I want somebody to be intimate with me. Well, will any of you have intimacy with me? Yeah. And like everybody's uncomfortable, obviously, but she just blew up, you know? You give so much. When we first started dating, it was a compliment to you. I would call you Kuan Yin. It's that bodhisattva that if you ever see any of these statues of a Eastern statue that has all these arms, it's the bodhisattva of generosity, of compassion, of caring, of giving. Mm-hmm. And she has all these arms so she can continuously give. It's infinite arms. And you do that so well. And there's nothing wrong with that, obviously. But I could feel the resent in your body language sometimes. I didn't know I was even doing that. I just wanted a scoop of me. I just wanted a little bite of the pad thai or whatever it was, right?
The thing is, you're not doing anything. Like, it's just, that was one of the things I was thinking about as an example of that because it became so clear. Recently, also the other day, you said to me, hey, do you want to go to this talk that I have on this day? Mm-hmm. Right? We were over text. This is a talk, a place I've been before multiple times, and it's quite a drive. Instantly, my intuition was like, I don't want to go. Love being with you. I don't want to go. I don't want to drive. I don't want to do the drive. I don't want to take my whole day. I have very few days without the children, and no, I had all these things, but it didn't matter. The answer was no. And then I took probably 5 minutes at least to contemplate whether I was going to say yes or no to you. Because on the flip side, I thought, he's going to be hurt because I know he likes me as his company when he goes down there. He enjoys driving with me. Oftentimes we go out to lunch and we get to look at the ocean together. And that's really nice. Not denying that, but that wasn't top of my mind. Now I was trying to think about how you would think about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, do I have to give him reasons I don't want to go? Should I just say yes anyway? And then I immediately fast forwarded to the day of it happening and me having agreed to it. I'm now feeling bitter and resentful. And why? Not because of you, because I didn't say clearly what I want. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So I actually told you the truth, which was that I don't want to go.
You want to go?
And I actually didn't give an explanation. You didn't ask for one.
No.
I told you later, but
didn't ask for one.
You were like, great, no problem.
You not wanting to go that's it.
Yeah.
No is a complete sentence.
Yeah.
I love going everywhere with you. You're my best fucking friend. I love it. I love it. And also, I love you being comfortable in whatever it is you want to do. That's first, man. Yeah. That's just first. So I don't need an explanation. There are multiple times where I'll ask you something, you start going, I don't need an explanation. Don't need an explanation whatsoever. Mm-hmm. You'll say something, I'll say, hey, babe, are you doing this or this or that? You're like, yeah, well, I want to. And I go, that's fine. I don't need an explanation. Mm-hmm. Keep it. Keep that for yourself. Mm-hmm. I don't need it. I mean, if you want to, okay, great. But I can feel you sometimes maybe wanting to I need to explain myself, you know? And then some of what I've noticed, how will Cesar respond if I don't want to go to a talk with him? Mm-hmm. Do you think it's worth your energy to try to decide for me how I'm going to feel and let that affect your emotions?
Well, bit by bit, practicing that and having it received. You know, I got so much, we talk about trust muscle. I got so much trust muscle in that one experience from you. So I was like, it was as easy as that. I didn't even have to spend 5 minutes. I could just say, nope, I don't want to. And if you needed a reason, I could tell you.
Yeah, truly. And also at the same time, I'm sure that if I turned to you and said, my love, this is something I really would like you to go with me.
I told you that.
Yeah.
I told you that.
Yeah,
if it was something meant something to you and you really needed me there, Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And this is exactly what I love about us is our ability to always want to walk towards each other, which I like a lot.
You have the benefit of going to speak at a lot of events, so I get my choice in
That's
terms of
also very true. Very
which
true.
ones I would like to attend that weekend or not.
So you're working on that. What would be your mantra for you? What is something you would tell yourself?
I think what I have to remember is that my intuition feels really good. And to be like, that's a yes, a full body yes, and to just do it because it's a full body yes, no matter what my mind says, or to say no to something that is a clear no, and I'm not worried about anybody else. It feels good in my system. It's like taking a nap. I feel rested. The other day, at family in town, I had my kids. I wanted to go ice skating. It was my idea. I was coming up with an activity for us all to do. My idea, let's go ice skating. Everybody's yes. We spent most of the day trying to figure out which rink we were going to go to. We have the abundance of choice here. And we figured it out. We got the time. The rest of my family got off their work and whatever. And we were all together. And I was fucking exhausted.
Oh my God.
All of a sudden, I hit this dip and I was like, I don't want to go anymore. That was a tiny voice in my head. I don't want to go anymore. Everybody's excited. On one level, I wanted to be there.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to miss that experience. But then on the other level, I was like, I'm so damn tired. I'm going to be tired the whole time. And I'm going to feel like this is an obligatory thing that I've done for my family. Luckily, I have an amazing family. And I was like, I don't want to go. I want to take a nap. And I let myself do that. And also my family was like, great, take a nap. Nobody had any pushback. And I have trust in them because they've done that so many times where they're like, yeah, take a nap. Same thing as you. Just take a nap.
Yeah.
And I slept so hard and they had a great time. And I did miss that activity, but I don't regret it. It felt so good to be like, wow, I'm actually following through on what my intuition wants, what my heart wants in this moment.
I've been picking up on some of that with you lately of wanting more time to yourself.
Yeah.
Which has been really nice. I'm so pro you having time to yourself in so many ways. So to recap, it's you saying to yourself, my intuition feels good. When it feels good, whatever the response is, go with that.
Yeah. I think that I need to practice A, understanding what I need or want. B, saying it, actually verbalizing it to someone, which is the hardest part. And then receiving the thing that I want. Oftentimes, if I ask you for something, you will do it. To go back to the music thing, I explained to you how overwhelming it was to choose from like any music at all this morning. And you came out, you were like, so what do you want to listen to? Let's see. The sun is out today. So I feel like maybe something slightly a little more upbeat. So you really like Hosier? You really like, what else did you say? Lawrence, you like, and you gave me like
Sam
three
Cooke.
choices, right? Sam Cooke. And you were like, would you like this? Would you like that? Would you like this? And I was like, fuck, he heard me. I said, I see what you're doing
You
here.
did actually. You gave me like a side look. You're like, I see what you're
I
doing.
see what you're doing. But it was so much infinitely easier. So yeah.
Well, thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
Thanks for acknowledging that part too.
Yeah, you really did. And you really do it. So I have to receive what someone is giving me.
Hell yeah.
What about for you?
The barrier that I'm breaking through is one that actually I didn't expect to have again.
Okay.
Actually. Yeah. And even though I know growth is cyclical, and I say it to everybody, and it's a part of my talks, and I know it for myself. And even though you know it, it still will show up. It comes back around, the thing, the lesson, the whatever it is. It just shows up a little stronger, a little different, and you'll be stronger every time, but it's cyclical. In the last year, really in the last 3 to 6 months, I have felt more calm, more clear, more concise, more direct, more understanding of myself and of the world. I'm reading quicker. I'm retaining information better. I'm reading 3 books at the moment, and I can juggle them all, and I'm retaining what I'm reading. And then I'm seeing it out in the world. And because of that, I'm seeing the results of my career benefit. As a speaker, as a meditation guide, and as a podcast host. I'm seeing myself actualize the things that I want, doing them, and they're turning out effective, and they're working. This, in return, has spawned in me this other side of impatience with people that I did not expect to happen with me. It has slapped me in the back of the head. I was like, oh, you're still here? Oh my goodness. And then it starts to use the things that I've done well to validate the impatience. For example, it's like, tell this person to do this thing. You guys are working together, do this thing. And then they don't do the thing, or they take a long time to do the thing. And I'm like, and my brain already goes, and I'm going to do an impression of what my brain does right now. One, this is not majority of my thoughts. I'm just aware of the thought, and I can hear the thought. It doesn't take over. How I am with this person in particular is not this way because I've already flushed through it, but it's loud in my mind. This is how it goes. What are you doing? I already said this. Why does this take so long? What could be so problematic that you can't do this thing that you know is going to benefit us? Because I've already explained this. Why do I have to wait on this person? And then the big one is like, come on. I hear it in my brain. Imagine you listening here. Imagine you are at a red light. There's just one car in front of you. The red light goes green and they don't move. Imagine that feeling. And then when they do start to move, 5 miles per hour, 10 miles per hour, that urgency of like, what are you doing? Go already, is what's been creeping up in me. Holy moly, it has been loud.
And for context, if you don't know Cesar very well, this is not ever something he would say out loud.
Nah.
There's never something I've ever heard in the years I've known you to be impatient with people or to be, you are like calm, you are slow moving, like in the best way, like intentionally. And so to hear you say that is like so far from who I know you to be, but it's just in your head. It's your brain.
It's just in my head. You know, my old self, it would have lashed out. It would have found some way out now. But I'm regulated enough to understand like, oh, that's just a part. That's just a voice in the room. I don't have to listen to that voice in the room. But because it is activating in me, when I get in my car, when I get home, I'm like, geez, I'm exhausted because I keep seeing it in more people and more and more. I'm like, why are they doing this? This is 8 steps to do one thing. What are you doing? What are you doing? And then, of course, I have to like hear that, listen to it really quickly, and then turn to the person and say, okay, cool, let's do this. Or this might be a better option if you want to try it this way. No? Okay. And then it happens. And this is another part of me. This is both sides now. This is the part of me who can watch that impatient person and the impatient person. Both of them are speaking, saying, I told you so.
Yeah.
I told you this was going to happen. I knew it.
Would you give an example of that, please?
It's an embarrassing one. It's embarrassing to say because it involves us in this room.
Okay.
So last year we were talking about social media posts. And I was like, we should repost some of the videos that did really well. We went viral a couple times. We should repost those for one, it can reach a different audience, a different time of day, a different algorithm. 2, it did quite well, so we can do it again. And then 3, if we have hashtags tied to it and someone follows the hashtag, they'll see multiple choices on those things in the grid. And I remember I got a lot of pushback, soft pushback. And I was like, all right, fine, no big deal. Let it go. And I almost forgot about it. And then the last couple weeks, my brain's been thinking about that. And I'm like, well, where are you coming from with this? Why are you bringing this up again? What's going on? It's like, well, they didn't do it. They didn't want to do it. But you know it's going to work. You know it's effective. And I'm like, okay, but it's the team effort is, if you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together. Why are you talking still? And it was like this. And then we had our team meeting, all of us, you, me, and our producer, Glenn Milley. And we're sitting down, and I brought it up again. And Glenn, as beautiful as ever, was like, isn't this beautiful? Before when you brought it up, I didn't think so. And now I kind of see it. I just, again, externally, calmly, I was like, thank you. Thanks for saying that.
Yeah.
But inside, I was like, oh my God, thank you. Yeah. Oh, I just want to be seen a little bit. Leading up into that, though, it's just in the back of my mind. Just like a voice saying like, they're not listening to you. Your thoughts don't matter. This person's not listening to you, even though you know this information because you've been learning this stuff and you've been successful and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. The voice was just going and going and going. And I'm hearing the voice and not necessarily agreeing with the voice.
But whose voice is that?
So I've been trying to do some investigation on that to see the impatient version is probably my dad. When I was younger, if I didn't get things right, he would get very impatient.
Okay.
Very, very, very impatient. You get physical, even. That whole side of the family, they're pretty high-strung and impatient about stuff for the most part. But I pick up on that part. The secondary part of it, of like, I know the answer here. It's interesting. I don't know whose voice that is. Honestly. And typically I'm good at finding where that's threaded from. It could come from the insecurity of not knowing things before and finally being like, I got it now. I finally understand it. He won't hit me. And so that I'm sharing it to people and people are like, yeah, whatever. I'm like, wait, hang on, dog. I got this. I know this now. I know it. I know the answer.
But you said, no one's listening to me.
No.
No one's paying attention to you. What's that voice?
Oh, there you go. Yeah, that's right. Well, I'm going to assume a lot of it has to do with me feeling quite distant from society my whole life. Growing up as a kid, everybody was gone. My parents were gone. Then I'd go to school and I felt a little isolated from the schools. I went to school in a different district than I should have been going to. So like even the kids would play. They'd go walk home together and they'd all be friends in the same neighborhood. And I didn't have that even. So I felt a little distant in that way. And then the friends I made there in my home, in my area, they went to different schools. So there was always some sort of disconnect. I think I might have felt left out or not fully understood.
Your ego is trying to prove that that's correct.
Yeah.
Prove that people aren't listening to you and that you don't fit in.
Yeah. And so have them understand what you're saying is right. This is effective. And it's been using my success in my career lately, compounded with the things I've been learning that I've applied to cause the success in my career, to say, you see, now you know some shit. Now you know, homeboy. Go out there and tell them. And if they don't listen, then they're fucked up. And I'm like, what? Hang on. What? Time out. Slow down. What are you saying here? But I think the beautiful thing to remember in this case is that, like our producer Glenn said, he casually, easily, like you exhale, like you just naturally breathe out, said, isn't that a beautiful thing that you can just change your mind on stuff? And it's fascinating.
It's like, I can change my mind about what I want.
Right.
We can go weekly with this podcast and we can change our mind halfway through and go, this isn't working. Like, I reserve the right to change my mind. We all do. We should. We should be
constantly changing
growing
our
and
mind.
learning. I reserve the right to change my mind. I heard that recently too on Glenn and Doyle's podcast, We Can Do Hard Things. They have been an audio only podcast for a long time. This year they added video and they did a big to do about it, a big promotion, all of the things. They went on YouTube, all of that. They did it for like 4 months.
Right.
And they came back on recently and said, guess what? It doesn't work for me. And it's like, the doesn't work for me part is like, she didn't feel as comfortable in her body in sharing her truth and the things that she was good at in podcasting, which is like sharing the beautiful, hard things that are going on in her life. So they're like, so we're not going to do YouTube anymore. YouTube, you come find us over on the podcast. And it was like, that's probably not the best business decision in the world, but it's right by the authenticity of who they are. And I have mad respect for that.
Yeah. That's your expander in that sense.
For sure.
Yeah.
It instantly expanded me.
Right. In addition to all of that happened to me, I started feeling more deflated and flat.
Say more why?
In my energy. Because I was feeling those ways, it's divisive. And that's not who I am.
When you were feeling like, oh, see, I know something now.
When I was feeling that people were taking too long to do things.
Impatience.
Yeah, impatience. My thought was like, I'm just going to go ahead and do the thing on my own.
Okay.
Right. On my own.
Right.
There's that division again. And I started feeling isolated.
But you were going to go faster.
Lonely. I was going to go faster.
Yeah.
And nature is so beautiful that way because you'll always have that reminder of like, as soon as you're up here, you go back down. I've been reminded of that story of the humbling of Indra. It's a Hindu story. Indra's this king, and he solves this drought that goes on, and he's so happy, excited for himself. And he says, what a good boy am I. So he builds a castle to celebrate himself. And then this mysterious blue boy walks in and says, of all the Indras, I've heard you built the greatest castle. And Indra says, all the Indras? I'm the Indra. What are you talking about? And the blue boy says, are you kidding me? They've come and gone this entire time. And while he's talking, a storm of ants come walking into the castle. And the blue boy giggles. And Indra says, what are you laughing at? He goes, don't ask unless you want to get your feelings hurt, homie. And he goes, no, I'm asking. Tell me. The blue boy points to the ants and says, they all used to be Indras. At some point, they got so high up in their success that they said, I'm doing so great. What a good boy I am. And in that moment, they go right back down to being ants. And I find that metaphor to be phenomenal. It's one of my favorite stories to tell about humility. And I went through a 2-week spell of that. And I'm still there a little bit. Like, he's still chattering a lot of stuff. And I just keep wanting to be right about things. I'm like, wait, hang on. You were this way when you were an atheist. Why are you? And you were drinking. Why is this coming up for you now? And on the other hand, I'm probably glad that it is coming up again. Because if I was that way when I was drinking and atheist and I wasn't dealing, not necessarily atheism, but the drinking part, I wasn't dealing. And now I'm in a space where I can deal.
Yeah.
And I can see it through. And I can break that barrier.
So is your goal, is your work then to be less impatient?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That, and also to find more compassion from my own self and the person. Remember that, like, hey, this is okay. This is fine. You have choices. You have choices. A friend of mine said the other day about that. He goes, I get in the car and I remind myself every time before I go drive in California traffic, you have choices. Somebody does something wrong on the road. You can choose how you want to respond and feel. That helped me a lot. So the compassion part is probably the big one. That's why I picked Tibetan Buddhism for such a long time, because it's deep in compassion.
What does it look like for you to work through that, the other side of that thought of impatience?
The first thing I go to, and it's a Buddhist thing, and also Jesus said it as well, for every one, I'm paraphrasing, for every one time somebody makes a fault, think of the 1,000 times you have made the same fault or a similar fault.
Yeah.
And remember, like, I've done that.
Yeah.
I've done that plenty of times. I've been totally slow to move. Okay. Because why? Because of a million circumstances. Circumstances that I don't even know from my own life. So there's no way I'm going to understand that person's circumstances. So give them a little more grace. Give them a lot more grace, maybe.
Do you beat yourself up for having this come up again?
Great question. No. Nope. Not one bit. I do not beat myself up. I do a lot of work to not beat myself up about anything. Anything. I examine it and say, like, okay, that wasn't the right one. Like, damn it, what happened there? I investigate it. What did I do wrong? We were setting up all this stuff here today, and we had to buy a new arm for the microphone. These arms here, and I ended up buying one without looking at the specifics. And I just missed one little thing that makes everything a little maybe more awkward for you. And in the full moment, I was like, why did I miss that? Okay. Specifics? Okay. And then I just started processing it. It seemed like from the outside that I was being hard on myself.
I thought you were being yourself about it. I'm like, we're returning, no problem.
Yeah. And then I turned to you. I was like, I'm not being hard on myself, actually. Because the way you said it to me, I recognized maybe I'm sounding like I'm being harsh. I wasn't. I'm investigating. What were the steps that got me there? I'm doing what's called double loop learning. You do a thing and then it doesn't go right. You don't change the thing. You change the mindset that got you to do the thing. And I thought about that and I go, okay, cool. Next time I'll just recalibrate a little bit. So to answer your question, no, I don't beat myself up about stuff.
Yeah.
I'm kind to myself.
It seems like you're on like a next level. You've like up-leveled in the way that you think about things. I think we're all doing work on ourselves. I'm sure that everybody listening to this show is
especially this show,
like a seeker of some kind, somebody
Yeah.
who's interested in personal development and growing. It's like a core value of mine. And I feel like a lot of people, so we're always reiterating and we're always giving, if we give ourselves permission to change our minds, we are reiterating into a new version of ourselves.
Second by second, by the way, if I may say.
Yeah. And in that process, you have up level. I can see, it's fun to say, I know I'm up leveling. Like I know where I'm at. I'm about to leap into a new level, or I've just been through an up level and now I feel like I'm just getting calibrated on this new, getting my nervous system used to this new pace. It's a new way of working. It's kind of how your brain is working at this in the last couple of months. It's kind of how your career is going. And we have to kind of like update our systems.
Constantly.
Yeah.
Constantly. I've been finding myself more sleepy in the past 2 weeks also. I feel like we're iPhones.
Yeah.
We are iPhones. We have so much going on. Just to update, we sleep a little more because when you update the iPhone, it shuts down. I feel like we have to recalibrate by resting a whole lot as well.
Getting a new operating system.
Getting a new operating system.
So I think what happens is when we up level like that, your old ways come in and check you.
In that cycle.
Yeah. Like, hey, you're in a new up level. Do you want a drink? Mm-hmm. Do you want to go to any of your vices, which you've also had a bit of lately in some of your vices in life, like resurfaced in your life? Do you want impatience in your life? And maybe this was the one that like snuck in there. Because the other ones you're like, nah, I think I'm done with that. No, thank you. No to that is an easy no. And then this one comes in to kind of test you and it kind of snuck in and it found its way to you again. And you have to figure out how to release that or how to work that into the fabric of the new level.
Of who I am now. Yeah.
Right.
Yes. I love that you said the phrase work that in instead of release, or you said it after release. You asked me this last night. You said, what are you trying to let go of, or what are you trying to shed?
Yeah.
I personally don't believe in shedding things. I don't think it happens, actually. I think what you have turns into something else. It evolves into something else.
Yeah.
Like I say before, the demon that's within you is just an unheard angel. My job is now to recognize the impatience and say, okay, what can I use you for? What can I learn from this? And it's going to keep showing up. It's the trickster that's in all of us. It's the trickster archetype that wears the mask. And you're like, I defeated you already. It's like, oh, but now I'm here wearing this outfit. Now I'm over here. That's the same thing with all of our darknesses that live within us. And in this case, the darkness was aggressive impatience.
I'm glad you're working through that.
Thanks. I feel better saying all of that right here, actually. I was really nervous to say that story about working with Glenn.
Oh, yeah.
And all the stuff in the social media stuff. I was nervous for a minute there. I was quite nervous. My brain was like, don't do it!
Is a safe space here.
No.
And I will just wrap by saying, can I share what we were talking about last night?
Please. I don't even know what you're talking about, but go for it.
Well, we have been together for 2 years, and I think each of us is going through some version of an up level of ourselves. I think you've just come through it, and I think I'm about to begin it. I'm like on the threshold of something new. I've been breaking through a couple of things even just in the last 24 hours that have been really vitalizing to me, which maybe we'll share on another episode. But it's scary because as we both change in various ways, I'm saying I need a little more space. I need a little more time to myself. I need to like figure myself out a little bit more because I don't want to lose myself again. I feel like in my marriage, I lost it. It's a combination of my marriage and being a mother homeschooling children in COVID is all of those things. But I felt like 95% of who I was. I didn't even know who I was anymore. Whoa. I didn't know what I did for fun. I didn't know what I did for enjoyment. I was like on autopilot. It took me 2 years before I even met you of solitude, of reading and meditation and figuring a lot of things out for myself to recalibrate my entire system.
Like cocooning.
Yeah. And I felt like I became almost a completely unrecognizable new person. Like I don't recognize an old versions of myself. I completely turned over. That was like the biggest transformation I've had in my life. Now I feel like there's a smaller version happening, and I was scared to realize that I was starting to lose a bit of myself in this relationship by making tiny deferments of what I want to you, deferring to you because I love you, because I care about you, because I don't want your feelings to get hurt. Small little bits of myself just like flaking off of me. And I was like, I know where this goes. I know where this ends up. And that's a terrible place to be.
The beauty of a longer life, yes.
And so now I'm reclaiming some of myself, and I got to cocoon a little bit again. And what I said to you last night was we have to trust that we're going to keep finding each other in the new versions of ourselves and keep choosing each other. But it's hard because we're going to have to meet each other again.
Constantly.
In our new versions. And that is why this personal growth work, of this self-analytical work can be so challenging and so scary because we're like, who's going to be on the other side?
Right.
There are people who didn't meet me on the other side of my divorce
Right.
that I lost along the way. And then there are people who came through in a new way, and they could see me in a new light. And I have dear, dear, dear friends who could look at me in the eyes and say, oh, you are sparkly now.
Right.
I see the real you that has come across. So like, that's part of it. That's part of growth.
Oh, wonderful.
And so I don't want to lose you. So we have to keep, like that. We have to keep coming back to each
Constantly.
other. Yeah.
Constantly. It is, I mean this metaphorically, but also actually it's a dance.
Yeah.
I'm doing my steps on rhythm. We separate a little bit, but I'm always mindful of what's going on where you are. I'm watching yours. I'm trying to stay in rhythm as well. All of me wants to always check back in with who you are. You are so much a part of me now. I can't even fathom who I am without you. I don't even want to, honestly.
And I also said the reason we're able to do this growth work that's happening right now is because of what you and I have given each other. What you have given me has gotten me to where I am right now. So much of that, the space, the confidence, the mirror, the showing me who I am. You're just reflecting it back to me so clearly. So each of us is only able to cross this new threshold personally because of the other person allowing us the space. I mean, it's our own too. We both own it too. But in the dance is how we've gotten able to go so fast with it.
Yes,
because of the other person. Yeah.
Well, I think I say this a lot to people when I'm trying to describe how we work together. We, one, don't tell each other what to do. Two, we work on our own selves. And then three, when we're together, we just share what we found. We kind of put on the table and like, oh, I found this. You found this. Oh, try this. I found this. I found that. And take it or leave it. And we just keep wash and repeat. Rinse, wash, repeat. Wash, rinse, repeat. Whatever the phrasing is. We do this over and over and over again by not trying to tell each other what to do and showing us every single thing that we found since the last time we met each other.
Okay, well, great. So onwards. Onwards into more messy middle of all of that. Thank you for being on this journey with us as I sweat my forehead off here.
Thank you for listening. And as usual, please be kind to yourself.
I know.
If this episode spoke to you, take a moment and send it to someone else who might need it. That's the best way to spread these conversations to the people who need them the most. And if you want to keep exploring with us, make sure to follow Beauty in the Break wherever you get your podcasts. We'll see you next time.
Beauty in the Break is created and hosted by Foster Wilson and Cesar Cardona. Our executive producer is Glenn Milley. Original music by Cesar and the Clue.